This is Blade Method Mindset, episode 4, with Corey Allen and me, Chris Trainer. Hello, Corey.
Hello, Chris.
All right, we got our first guest on the Blade Method Mindset podcast that we're super excited about. We've cleared mountains, scaled cliffs, fought wolves to get this man on the podcast, and it finally worked out. And his name is Lon Allen, a.k.a. the Lonmower, as most of us know him as. And is also Corey's father.
My daddy-o.
Correct.
Not his twin brother. You can tell by the gray in the beard. And how you doing, Lonmower?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Thanks for coming on.
Wonderful.
Thanks for inviting me. I feel pretty privileged to be the first guest.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
That's a pretty big deal, Pop.
Yeah, it's huge.
a pretty big deal. So, we've got a lot to talk about with Lon, and he's got a long life story, I'm sure. I mean, he's
old.
Because he's old.
Because I'm old.
nearly 50 years old. And we're going to get into it as much as possible. But to cover that time span, we'll probably skip over some things and hit the finer points, mainly probably later in the past several years.
And the greatest moment in his life.
Yes.
Having Justin.
Yep. It was pretty amazing.
Second son.
My second son. That was amazing. It was truly amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, as far as getting into Lon's story, we have a recent current event that just happened, and that was this past weekend. Him qualifying for Masters Nationals 50 and over. And Masters weightlifting, so USA Weightlifting has a Masters category, which every 5 years over the age of 35, a new category, and Lon's gonna be 50 here in just a few days.
Months. February. Just days. Getting pretty close.
Yeah. That's what I meant. We're both going to be in February. He'll be 50, I'll be 35, and so we actually both qualified for Masters National, me 35 and over, and Lonmower 50 and over. And it was both of our first weightlifting meets.
First one ever.
And you did awesome.
So did you.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you both did great.
It was a lot of fun. I had a blast.
It was great. I mean, first experience with weightlifting, and yeah, it was different than all the CrossFit events. Just it was like slower.
So much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Less painful.
Yeah, there you go.
Way less painful.
Like after the event, I was standing around going, okay,
I didn't do anything.
I need to go do something.
But it seemed less stressful. It's like I've competed with you multiple times over the years in big events. And you were definitely way more laid back at this one, like going into your lifts, than you ever are going into competition, like regional-wise or anything like that. I guess just there's not as much.
I think it was because he hadn't eaten in like 2.5 weeks.
That might have been why.
Well, regionals is obviously we train all year. It's a huge thing just to get there, and then it's several days, and it's painful, and you're going to be in pain, plus managing the team and all that. This was just me.
Yeah.
Just me. But I think the reason I was so relaxed is because I made weight.
Yeah. So
and that was that was a win. That was a win, and it wasn't easy. And to be able to do that and stick to it, I was super happy with myself. And I don't often get to be happy with myself. And, normally I'm pouring in my emotions into other people. So to have that be on me, and obviously I was concerned with Lon and what he was doing, and Ruskin, I had to, Ruskin Saturday morning text me after I've been in the sauna for like an hour. Coach, I'm 1.8 over pounds, not kilos. And he's on U of A or ASU campus. And I texted him everything he could do and exhausted all options and figured out there was nothing he could do on campus to get that weight off. And so I was like, leave now, drive to my house, pick me up, we'll steam. And I had one more steam to do because I had about 1.5 pounds to go. Or about a pound to go. And so he drove, picked me up, we went and steamed again. I steamed for about 10 minutes and left him in there for about 20, and we both came out. I was 73.0 kilos on the dot when I got out of that last steam.
What was your weight when you actually weighed in? How far under were you?
72.8.
72.8.
73 was you're 73, right? Kilos was where you needed to be.
Yeah.
So
at what point, or was there at any point over the past week that you're like, I don't think I'm gonna make it?
Yes.
When
Friday night when I steamed with them, we got done steaming and he weighed himself and he still wasn't there. And he's like, I think I just might quit. I'm like, you're not going to quit. You know that.
That was in the ride home.
Yeah.
Because I was so thirsty.
Yeah.
I was still 3 or 4 pounds over at that point.
So Friday night, you were like, I might not actually make weight.
So Friday was rough because I had my last water Thursday night, and just I thought I was going to be closer. And then after we steamed and still being 3 or 4 pounds over and just knowing what that was going to mean Saturday morning, obviously that mental weakness creeps in. You know, like I could just eat and go qualify at the heavier weight, you know? And so, and Lon in the ride home goes, you're not going to quit. And obviously and I wasn't, but having him just say that one little thing is like, that's all I need, you know? Yeah. And so, especially from Lon, you know? And so, Friday I had a half a LaCroix on Friday night. Okay. So like, that was so stupid. I mean, it wasn't like and I had 3 ounces of chicken. So I wake up Saturday morning and I'm 164. And it's like, oh, here it goes. And so for, all morning I was steaming and in there, and I met some super interesting people and had a lot of good conversations in the steam room.
Oh, yeah.
And Ruskin going on. But yeah, so it was tough, but we did it. And so that making weight and then just warming up and throwing down, like having Lon and Ruskin lifting at the same time because we were all right around the same loads was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Standing there and then having Claire there, and I kept feeding James Ellis, the owner of Scottsdale Barbell, some storylines.
It was basically a storyline of Blade Method Barbell and its athletes on what they were doing and how they needed to qualify and what they had been through in life. And every time we went up, it was something else.
Which is fun for the audience and everybody.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, and then you were there and you did great. You gave me a great cue. I was pulling my weight forward on my warm-ups, just letting go of my posterior, and you cued me to stay engaged, and that really helped. Just not thinking about it, so that was good. And all around great meet.
It was fun. It was a blast to be there and watch you guys. You guys all crushed it. It was so when Ruskin hit his first snatch, because he hadn't lifted, broke his neck.
Yeah, that first one.
When he hit his first snatch and just landed it, whap! I was like, oh yeah, the kid's back.
That's awesome.
He's good.
Yeah.
And then he's warming up his clean and jerks, and the kid is so strong.
Amazing.
And so fast under the bar. You're just like, how was he ever injured at any point in his life? You would never think that he ever got hurt. Like he was just off of having a neck brace on for 3 months.
That's the thing is like if I take a week off, I seems like I've taken 2 years off.
Yeah.
He did nothing for 6 months, basically bedridden in a neck brace, and then 3 months of training, and he's just smashing.
Amazing.
It's like just raw talent. Obviously, he works really hard and has a good work ethic for a 16 to 18-year-old in the past couple years with everything else he has going on, but to be that talented is just awesome. Yeah. So,
and it was a good thing Claire was there. If I would have been the only one there calling out numbers, it would have been my dad's second snatch. I'd have been like, go for it, send it up. She's like, let's just get 3 lifts in, 3 good lifts, and then we'll smash it on the next meet. And I was like, Dad, bump the kilos.
Yeah, she was good. Running back and forth. Yeah, she was great. Yeah. It was good.
Because you came off the platform and you were like, I want to go up.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go up.
Let's go up. And she was like, we put you at 85. We'll just go there. I was like, 93. Let's go for it. But no, it was good. 6 for 6. That was huge, Pop. So that was definitely a good meet.
Yeah, coming off vacation.
Yeah.
And,
straight out
2.5 weeks in Scotland.
Hadn't touched a bar.
Just drinking beer.
That's a funny story, though. The beer, that's funny. So, yeah, I was on vacation in Scotland, and I think over the entire, I think I told you that, in over 2 weeks, I had 10, 11 beers. And for me, that's a lot of beers.
That's more beers than he's drinking in the past
a beer a day.
6 years.
But the problem is I had 5 beers the first night we were there. And then I was wasted. I couldn't drink for the next 4 days.
And then, 5 days.
I was hungover for 5 days.
Well, you FaceTime me at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We got a lift.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, coming back and then doing the first meet was really cool. It was a different experience going up there and walking up on a stage, and it's you can hear a pin drop. It's so quiet, and you're like, I need noise. I was glad that Corey was there because every time I'd walk up on the stage, I could hear him say, all right, let's go, Pop. And I'm like, at least it was something, you know, not just silence.
Silence.
Yeah, that's like
right
the hardest thing to get used to.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah. I like that. Just being up there alone. I went real quick though, you know. I just charged
you
up.
You did your straight Chris Trainer run to the bar, hand, go.
Well, that was the other thing that, like, for me, because like in CrossFit competitions, if you're doing like a 1 rep max of something, you have like 6 minutes or whatever, you can miss like 4 or 5 times and be like, all right, I'll hit it next time. There, it's like if you miss it, you're done. You like walk off the stage.
Okay.
So
give me one more try.
So that's the other thing. It kind of like you have to get used to, like, you have to hit this lift or it doesn't count. So, but it was fun. I'm looking forward to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and the funniest thing, the difference between you guys and Ruskin, like, you take 11 seconds total from when they call your name to when you hit the first lift. Ruskin's
58 seconds.
Yeah, like there's a minute clock. I was like, Ruskin, you're gonna run out of time. I was freaking out in the back. He's like, one hand on the bar, other hand on the bar. He wipes his nose and he's got 12 seconds. I was like, they're gonna call time. Like, what's gonna happen here? And then he runs it down to like 5 seconds and he pulls the bar every time.
He's got it down.
So he's done that forever.
Time and time again.
Right?
So
you guys had to shorten it, didn't you? Like, for a while he was taking too long.
Well, his first youth nationals, when he won the national championship, I was yelling at him off stage, left, because he'd be in like 8 seconds, you know, and he just does it, and he watches the clock, and that's what he does. So another unique thing about Ruskin is just being a boss, you know, like super confident kid and has his own swagger like that.
Yeah, he handles his own, but yeah, I was like, does he know that he only has 15 seconds? Like,
Yeah,
run out of time?
when they said, Lon Allen, you're up, and it's like, I got to go. Like, chalk, get to the bar and lift.
Right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about the meet without mentioning we had, you know, it's the barbell club growing, so, you know, we had 2 new female lifters do their first meet, and Andrina and Tammy, and they did great. They're already signed up for their next one. Amy did her 3rd meet, you know, so she's getting a lot of experience under her belt. So it's exciting, you know. I think we're gonna take a few masters to nationals. I know Gaina was talking about it, and Nancy, and so that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be a blast.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just transition into diving into you, Lonmower. You want to just give us a brief history of your life? You know, kind of what led you up to finding CrossFit?
Yeah. First question is, why do you have a knife? It's like, are you getting ready to stab me or something? Or
well, that could happen.
We're also trying to get a knife sponsorship.
We're
trying to get
LaCroix
and Gerber. And you guys want to sponsor us?
Yeah,
I'm just wondering. That's all. Like, got a knife out.
I feel comfortable at all times having some sort of weapon nearby.
I just didn't know if you're planning somebody's rushing the door.
There may or may not be a pistol hidden in this room
underneath the table.
You hit the button and it pops up.
But you know, for me to sit still and do nothing for an hour is like having something to play with.
Play with your knife.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how I did so well in school. But yeah.
All right. So for me, like you said, I'm almost 50 years old. Be 50 in February. So I'm looking forward to this year. Got a lot of goals for this year. But so I grew up in this huge town in New Mexico, metropolis of Lordsburg, New Mexico. I think it had a population of about 3,500 people. So huge. And I wanted to get out of town as soon as I could graduate. So went into the Navy. So went into the Navy for 4 years. I was on submarines, which is kind of cool. Not a lot of people get to do that.
I don't get why you went from a tiny town and then you went on to an even smaller population of people in a little metal tube.
You want to know why? So here's how it went. So I was scheduled to go to an aircraft carrier, going through my school, electronic school, through the Navy and stuff like that. And a guy came in and he was like, we're recruiting for the sub force. So he gives us a spiel, blah, 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 about subs and everything like that. And he's like, is anybody interested in joining? Nobody raised their hands. And he's like, it's an extra $250 a month. Boom.
Sign me up.
About 6 of us, our hands go up, and that's kind of what it was. So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not claustrophobic or anything, and if you were claustrophobic, submarine's not the place for you. But it was cool. I got to do a lot of things. I was stationed in Washington State. Had my first son there, Corey.
That's me, in case you guys remember the highlight of my life.
And then from there, we went over to Hawaii, and I was stationed in Hawaii for a while, and then moved back to Phoenix after I got out of the Navy. Got into the security force because that's what I did in the military, electronics and stuff like that, with alarms and stuff. So I got a job with Orion Security way back then, installing security, fire alarms and stuff like that. And slowly moved my way up through there, and got a job later on with Scottsdale Police Department, taking care of all their security equipment there and stuff like that. And during that time, I was into professional beer drinking and softball.
So how old are you at that point?
Probably around in my 30s. I was really good at softball.
So how old were you when you had Corey?
Oh, I was like 21. Yeah, 21.
Well, you're 28, you're 50.
Yeah,
21.
So right there.
21.
Yeah. I wanted to start young so that when I actually later on down the road, when I found CrossFit, I could work out with them.
I think that's because you guys have a super special relationship.
Yeah,
super close, and awesome to have you guys working out together and at competitions and just that whole vibe. Like, that's what I think would be so awesome about having a kid young. You're healthy and you can work out with them and do what you guys do. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's I love working out with him. Where was I?
You drank a lot of beer, played a lot of softball.
Drank a lot of beer, played a lot of softball. I was really good at it, and I got up to about probably 240 pounds, 245 pounds was the heaviest I think I was. And then there was a point in my life where I'm like, okay, I probably need to change and do something different.
I don't want to skip over that. Like, that's a light detail that Lon, because people that know you, Lon, and people that follow you around the country and see you with your shirt off and what you do in workouts, like, to think that you were 240 pounds is, for a lot of people, really hard to believe. A lot of people just probably ultimately assume that you were gifted your whole life, had really good genetics, were a high-level athlete, and never really had a drop-off point. Yeah,
and I was active in school and stuff like that, and working out when I was young, I always was in shape, and I wasn't overweight or anything like that. But then, life happens, and you have kids, and you kind of just forget about taking care of yourself, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to not eat good and not work out than it is to work out and eat well.
Oh, yeah.
So
99% of the population knows that.
Yeah, and so, and I still, and you've seen it, I have a picture of when I was probably at my heaviest, and I heard you guys say it looked like a beach ball for my head, which it's kind of, I listened to your guys' podcast. I know that you said that you have a picture of yourself when you were chubby, but I've never seen that. So I
posted it
I don't know
twice on my Instagram.
When you were a young kid.
I probably
he doesn't believe that I was ever.
You were chubby.
Thank you.
I think we have great genetics, but we have a tendency to put on weight really easy.
Yeah.
It's really easy for me to put on weight, and it's really hard for me to keep the weight off. So I have to work really, really, really hard. And I keep a picture of that just as a reminder of how easy it is to get back to that point. And I don't want to get back to that point again. The one thing I love about CrossFit and love being about a coach is I like the idea of being able to inspire people. Like, people can look at me and go, man, he's 50 years old and he didn't always look like this. Like, he has to bust his butt to do that, but if he can do it, I can do it. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s, you can start at any age. You just have to start and put the work in. So, absolutely. Yeah. So it's hard work, but I love it. So yes, I wasn't always like this, and it's hard to stay like this, but not that I don't still have beer or have a cheat day every now and then, but they are few and far between. So
but just being 10 times fitter than you were at 50 than you were at 35. And that's what I wanted to get across.
Yeah, and then, and you can always get better. Like, I believe now when I'm 50, I'm better than when I was 40. Mm-hmm. And when I'm 60, I hope to be better than when I was 50. I'm going to keep pushing that as much as I can. Awesome. So at the heaviest, I'm like, I got to change my life, do something different. So I got into running and triathlons. did all types of distances of running from 5Ks to 10Ks to half marathons to marathons, and got into the triathlon community, which is an amazing community. It's kind of like CrossFit, where it's a really close-knit community. So got into doing triathlons, started doing small ones at first, and then a half Ironman, and then all the way up to full Ironmans. And I've done 5 full Ironmans, which is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then finished off with a marathon after that.
Which is too long.
That's incredible. 5 full Ironmans. You know, that's and it, obviously people will debate all day long about what true fitness is, you know, but as far as endurance fitness, that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, having the capacity to be able to do that. I've watched 5 full Ironmans.
Yeah, Corey's been there with me. So I mean, for me, I was never fast. So you're talking about, you know, you start your day and you finish your day late at night. And for me, I think it was like, you know, 15 hours of exercising, just going, and it's never stopping, because you're swimming, and then after the swim, you go into the bike, and you're biking for 5 to 6 hours, and then you're running a marathon after that.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible.
It's not fun. I mean, it was great to look back and say I finished it, but yeah, it's a long day, and you don't really get to enjoy it until after it's done, and probably till the next day. So after my 5th Ironman, I was kind of getting burnt out. So I was looking for something different, and I knew a guy in the triathlon community. He was like, "Hey, have you heard this thing about CrossFit?" And I'm like, "No." So he was kind of explaining it to me, and I'm like, "Oh, that would be something to look into." So when I finished my last Ironman, there was a new CrossFit gym opening up, CrossFit North Scottsdale, which was right by my office out in Scottsdale where I work. So I'm like, well, I think I'm going to give it a try. So I walk in, talk to the owner there, is Jason Fine, amazing guy. I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, why don't you come back tomorrow and we'll do a free workout. And I'm like, all right, great. So and this is literally like probably a week and a half right after my Ironman. So I walk in there and we talk, and he gets me to the back, and he's like, okay, we're going to do just a 7-minute workout. That's all. And in my mind, I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'm like, I just did 15 hours worth of exercising, and I'm going to a 7-minute workout. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be for me. This is dumb. So he's like, we're going to do 7-minute workout. We're going to do 7 dumbbell thrusters and 7 burpees for 7 minutes. He was like, that's all. And he showed it to me, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be ridiculous. 2.5 minutes in, I thought I was going to die. Yeah. So I literally get through the workout, and the next day I could barely lift my arms. And from that point on, I was hooked with CrossFit. Stuck with it. Stayed there at North Scottsdale, eventually becoming a coach there. And I took my level 1, and come to find out, we actually took our level 1 at the same time. Same class. We didn't even know it until probably maybe a year after I was with Blade. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Least. Yeah, we were talking about our L1 instructors, and they were the same. And I looked up the picture, and we were like literally like almost side by side in the picture.
We got to get that picture blown up at the gym.
Yeah,
meant to be.
That was kind of cool. So that's kind of how I got into CrossFit, and started out at North Scottsdale. Was there probably 3 years or so. And then I wanted to try to get more into the competitive side of CrossFit, and I knew I couldn't do it there. I knew of Blade, especially through Jason, because you helped Jason get set up and stuff like that. And Jason had nothing but great.
He helped me get set up.
Yeah, he helped you.
Yeah.
And he had nothing but great things to say about you and Claire and Blade, and so I knew of you, and went there, met with you. Told you what I wanted to do. My ultimate goal is to make the CrossFit Games. It's still part of my goal. Haven't done it yet, but I'm not going to quit trying. So I went in, met with you, told you everything, and I was still kind of on the fence about leaving, because Corey knows, and it's really hard to leave a community that's so close. And North Scottsdale was a great community, just like Blade is, and it's hard to leave. It's like you're leaving your family.
Oh yeah.
So I left you that afternoon, and I was talking to Steph at home, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. It's right by the house. I know it's what I should do, but it's just so hard. And I remember you sent me a text, and you were like, hey, I just went through all your numbers from last year. And I mean, you just had everything on a text, like broken out numbers, times, and everything. And I'm like, that's the guy for me. That's my coach. And literally went in the next day and told Shane, I'm like, I'm leaving. I got to go get a coach. And that's what brought me to Blade.
I remember that first meeting vividly.
Yeah.
And doing that and everything. Yeah. So, and what a time it's been, and so like
amazing.
Haven't made the CrossFit Games yet. I firmly believe had you been healthy last year, we would have made it. We were a couple of reps outside of it the year before. So we're gearing up this year, and God willing, if there is a Masters division still CrossFit, if you could throw us a bone on that and what that's going to entail, how many people you're taking, we'd like to know.
Yeah.
But we're going to give it a go this year. But I just want to go back to that first workout at Scottsdale real quick.
Yeah.
That being hooked after that first workout, someone that's done 5 triathlons, Ironman triathlons, super fit in their mind, but you go in and do that energy system bias, oh crap.
Yeah.
That's what Greg Glassman, figured out is that, hey, you can be super fit and you can be one of the fittest people in the world in an endurance sport, but can you do 7 minutes of all out effort work?
Right.
How's your phosphagen energy system? So like, I love that. And I love, that's kind of old school. That's what I did. I was a career fitness person and threw down in my garage and just went ham and realized I wasn't the fit person I thought I was. And I love that idea, and having multiple gyms now and hundreds of people and a huge gym and all the assets that we have, you have to be a little bit more protected on people coming into the gym that first time. You can't just ham them out,
Hey,
and so I that's what the beautiful part of CrossFit, I believe, is being able to just give someone a workout and say, hey, do it then.
Right.
Yeah. You're fit, huh? You've been doing X, Y, Z. Hey,
come try
here's this workout. Let's go and see what you got.
Right.
And then they can have that beautiful death. Die that beautiful death and then be hooked.
Right.
And so if I have a brand new person that hasn't been working out in the past couple of years, made some pre-existing injuries, like that would be irresponsible for them to come into my gym and just do that to them. But I wish there was like a way that I could get rid of all the stuff that we have to do to protect ourselves and just be like, oh, you think you're fit, right? And still be able to, hey, here's 10 minutes. This is your task. Get it done.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way a lot of people found CrossFit and fell in love with it is through that exposure.
You throw the hook out there for them and they either bite it and they like it or they're like, oh, this isn't for me. But most of the time they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who's going to stick with it anyways. Right. Like that's who you want.
Well, when we have people come and try a trial class for the first time, it's usually like on a Thursday. And usually Thursdays are more of an endurance type body weight stuff that we do anyway. And it's funny sometimes walking in and like people will look at a workout and say it's like 10 rounds of, sit-ups, running, and grasshoppers or something like that. And, they look at it and they just see that first round and they're like, oh, this is easy. I can do that. And you try to scale them and you're like, well, we'll scale back. And they're like, no, I work out at Orange Theory or wherever it is, or, it doesn't matter where it is. And those are the type of ones where like, they're not going to get hurt because it's body weight and stuff like that. And then after about 2 rounds, they come in and you're like, okay, now we can scale you. And they're like, okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to let them make
you got to let them.
On there.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just, it's just some sit-ups and running and stuff like that, you're fine.
You can't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just going to not be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long, like row, run, bike.
Something like that.
We should cut this in half. No. I can do this. I'm like, well, go ahead. I'll come talk to you again in 50 minutes when you're still not done. And let's talk about if we need to scale that back a little bit next time.
Maybe we can break through that red tape, have like an ultimate waiver.
Right.
Yeah. Like someone has been training,
right.
and they've been doing stuff because we've got a guy coming in on Friend Fridays and he's been training and doing this boot camp locally. And like we've been scaling him back big time, following all the rules. And he's kind of hanging in there, like.
But you can tell he wants to.
Yeah, let me just make him do Fran.
Yeah,
like, hey, can you do Fran?
Yeah,
oh, you're used to this? Like, here, sign this waiver. Yeah.
Slide the golden waiver across the table.
Let's put you in a bubble and see if you can get your way out. Like that. Yeah. Claire and Tara are gonna be so.
They're like, no,
that is not the way
we don't do that here. But it's like it's funny, like when you talk to those people because. When you tell them like, okay, we'll scale you back, and they're like, oh no, don't worry, I work out.
No,
I'm like,
you really don't.
Yeah. I'm like, I know you work out, but this is just it's different.
You're not ready for what's about to happen.
And that's the other thing that I love about CrossFit is that like you just keep getting there's not a point where you can't get better at something.
Yeah, you're always
you know what
growing.
I mean? And I'm almost 50 and I'm still trying to get better at so many things. Like I'll never get there. And it doesn't matter if you're 50 or if you're just starting out at 18 and you do it for 20 years, you can always get better. Whether it's lift a little more, go a little faster, whatever it is. I mean, that's the one thing I love about it.
And even like for me who started CrossFit in my mid-20s and now getting a little bit older, like I can feel certain things slowing down, like my burpees aren't as fast. Like after 100 burpees, like my legs just get heavier. They slow down, unlike they did a few years ago. But I can move better. So like that's kind of like what my goal is I might have certain things slowing down a tad, but I can improve my movement and move better, and that's going to make me better. So as hard as that is to slow down and try to focus on that sometimes, even though, is like having the best mover in the world is my wife, and who looks down on me all the time, about the way I move.
I don't know if she looks down on you.
Well, it's on my movement, because I'm a get her done type of guy. Like,
just make it happen.
Setting that as a goal. Oh, I'm clearly be real happy with it, and so.
But you were like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna power these, and she was cool with it. She was like,
just make the lift.
Well, she wasn't cool when I said it in my house, but like after she saw me walk in there, and my eyes were sunken in my head, and
she's like okay,
and I was standing up and waving when I was warming up. I'd stand up out of a snatch and almost fall over because I was about to pass out. Like she was like, okay, yeah.
We should power those. Just make the lift.
The other thing that I like about the CrossFit community too is just the people you meet. Like for me, I've done some master competitions, not locally, like the Granite Games and stuff like that, and in Canada, and like I meet these other masters that are competing, and you make friendships, and I still text them to this day, or like if I'm doing something locally, they'll send me a text and they'll be like, hey, congratulations, this and that.
Murph, Halo!
Hey, don't worry, nobody heard that.
Yeah, covering up the microphone did not do anything. They sound waves just boom, 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 boom.
You hear those dogs out there.
Yeah. So just the meeting people like that is pretty amazing too. And then how you stay together and in contact with these people, and you follow them as they follow you is pretty cool too.
The old dudes are definitely a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Like
the Masters community
they're a cool group. I remember like walking around the Granite Games, like they'll remember me. Like they'll be, oh, hey, you're Lon's son. How's he doing? Stuff like that. Like you don't get you get guys you hang out with and talk to a little bit, like in the regular individual and team
the young
age
people
groups and stuff, like the younger people. But it's not like that. Like you're not hanging out talking. Like you warm up and then you go and do your workout and then you go back with your people that you're from your gym. Like you don't really hang out too much with people. I think people have maybe more egos and things like that when they're younger, but all the old Masters guys, they're like off in their own world, hanging out together in the warm-up area.
And we'll talk.
Lifelong buddies, it looks like.
They give me the cold shoulder. Because he's the only one with the coach there.
Yeah.
And all these things, and he's beating them, and and they're always like, oh, stop telling him what to do. Whoa, wait, that's cheating. He's got a coach.
Yeah. Well, in Canada, the guy Pete, my buddy Pete, he came up to me afterwards and he's like, yeah, I saw that you had a coach, and he's like, so then I would just kind of follow behind you and kind of listen to what he was telling you to do. So, but yeah, the Masters group is great. I mean, there's, like you said, I don't think there's as much ego there. I mean, the competitions I've done, when we're warming up and we have a workout coming up, like we'll talk and be like, so what's your strategy on this one? And we'll, you talk about it. It's like, I don't know, I'm not real good at this. And it's like, you're not going to lie because you're going to walk out there and you can't tell somebody you're really good at something and then go out there and be like, oh yeah, you can't even do that. So, I mean, I think the ego goes out the door once you get to a certain age.
Well, kind of. I think sometimes it's still a little bit there.
Yeah.
You still have.
Well, it's more of an internal thing of your own self-expectation.
Right.
Like you're not trying to prove anything to anyone else. It's all about what you can prove to yourself.
Right.
So as far as you've done 5 Ironmans, you've competed at almost the highest level, and you've competed at the Granite Games, which is a super high now sanctioned CrossFit event, taking second place by 1 point, should have won, and then an Olympic weightlifting meet.
Yeah.
You should have won. But
If that workout's a squat clean requirement, you win the competition. I mean, we don't need to get into that, but you would have finished one there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I took second place.
Yeah.
By a point.
By a point.
Okay.
Out of 1,250 points, you
and
lost
then,
by a point.
With an asterisk.
No.
And then Canada up in the Can West Games.
And you won the Can West Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. You smashed everybody.
But so awesome experience in the Ironman, awesome experience in CrossFit, awesome experience on the weightlifting platform. Obviously, that's the freshest one, and you don't have nearly as much experience. I guess it would be a better question after nationals when you win nationals. I love saying this stuff to Lon.
Yeah, I know.
He hates it.
Because I hate it. My goal is to be on the podium at
the top spot on the podium. Like when the podium goes up, there's that one place that's a little bit higher.
My goals are always just a little bit higher.
That's where you're going to stay.
That's true. But the reason I say that is because I don't know anything about like who's compete. Like in the CrossFit community, like you said, you make friends. You know who you're going to compete against. You know weaknesses and strengths. Yeah, you do. You stalk them, and you know what they're good at. And then when you see the workouts come out, you're like, okay, well, I should do pretty good in here. As far as weightlifting, like I don't know anything about it. I don't know how many people they're going to be. I don't know what's good, what's bad. So my goal right now is to make it onto the podium. I mean, that's my goal. So
we'll be doing qualifiers, and they'll be like, "Oh man, this is a good one for Ray." I'm like, "Who are you talking about?" He's like, Ray from in Virginia." I'm like, "Why do you know this is a good workout for him?" He's like, "It's going to be a good one for that guy in Florida. I think he's going to do well on this one."
We keep tabs.
Well, and at the upper echelon, there's only 20. There's 20 or 30 guys that could actually do
compete
anything,
at that level.
So which one would you say is the most fun? Like a 3-day high level CrossFit competition, a 15-hour Ironman, or a 2-hour weightlifting meet?
Definitely the 3-day CrossFit competition.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean the whole 3 days, if you mess one workup up or if you mess it up and you don't do as good, there's always a way to come back. You just got to try to be consistent throughout the entire weekend. And it's definitely the CrossFit competition.
Cool.
So
You too?
Well,
I've
we'll
never
see.
done an Ironman.
But I mean, from your weightlifting.
I ran a 5K.
He hasn't done a nationals weightlifting meet yet either. So
I've coached in.
Doesn't that
I've coached it over. I know.
In front of your yard.
Yeah, that's why he's about to get waxed on. He can't.
So when you win,
I was just talking trash to a dog.
When you win nationals, how's that gonna feel?
Well, see, like you could say that, but it's just like an Aesop's fable. Like it's not actually like I don't have a shot to win nationals. And we know that. I'm going for the experience, and you are my concern there. If Dana goes, that's going to be my concern is to get you guys as high as possible. I'm going for the experience. Obviously, if I had the numbers to have that, I'd give it a go, and it would be awesome. But I don't, so yeah, I'm just going to go and do my best.
There we go.
Coaching in those events, which one's more stressful? Coaching in a high level weightlifting meet, so national weightlifting meet, or coaching at a CrossFit event?
Weightlifting, because it's so high stakes. Like it's that one lift. It's the I'll never say it like, and I can't break down the whole thing, but when at Ruskin's first youth nationals, when he won the national championship, like he was like 4th in the snatch and then last to lift on the clean and jerk, and it came down to it that I said, Russ, we can go out there and we can hit 107 and you can maybe have a shot at the platform. Or we can go for it. You can hit 110, have a shot at being on that podium and winning, or being completely off the podium. And he was like, let's go. Let's go for it. And so we put 110 in. We were the last to put it in, and the 2 kids before him had to go. And if they hit it, if either one of them hits it, they win. And Ruskin doesn't because their snatch was bigger than his, and they both missed. And Ruskin goes out there and sticks the 110 clean and jerk, which is 242 pounds, and he was 16 years old, 130 pounds. So just to give people context,
crazy.
And sticks it in that moment. Like I can still picture it vividly when he won that gold medal by hitting that. Was like that by far was top 3 of my life in coaching, and so so it's just a heart rate for one moment, you know, and when Claire's out there, you know, it's like it's tenfold, you know, so but you know, a CrossFit, you're hustling all over the place. Like at a Granite Games, you got several athletes, you're running across campus, you know, you're doing the thing at regionals. You know, coaching Claire at regionals, it's over 3 days, and then the past 3 years being on a team, and you know, Claire when she'd go individual, so it's just way different. It's not one moment that means everything. You know, in a 30-second window, your heart rate's at 150 beats per minute watching the event. So weightlifting, for intermittent times, is gnarly. Yeah, when you have the passion.
It's kind of like a chess game too, right? With the numbers.
Backstage. That's the most fun about a national weightlifting meet, when you're getting close and there's people that can platform, especially the following year when Ruskin took second to Carlos, who's on the world team now. You know, it was just like that. You know, if this happens and this happens and you're putting in numbers, and the kid was just stronger. But to give you some context, like all those kids, 110 was the winning clean and jerk. And I think we were going for 130 the following year. So 20 more kilos from, you know, and they're all 16 to 17, but everyone got that much better. Yeah. You know, so it was just a whole different game.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've coached one weightlifting meet, and it wasn't at high stakes. It was Jack's first meet. But even, the 30 seconds that he's up there, I was like, I just want to come and pull him off the platform because I'm nervous for him. I was freaking out back there.
That's good. So
That's what you want it.
Yeah. You don't want to not care. You don't, if you're up there and you're coaching an athlete and you don't care if they make or miss a lift, then you're the wrong person to be up there. That's for damn sure.
But it was definitely a fun experience. And then having you guys up there, I was like screaming in that back room. I was like, stick it!
The back room, you know, under the rig, 5 feet away.
Yeah, I know. I kept thinking someone was going to say, like, you're standing too low. Like, the first lift, I was back in the back, and then, like, I would just start moving further and further up, and Claire would move up a little. I was like, well, I guess I can stand right here, too. And then we would just both move to the point where I was about 4 feet away from the platform.
I think my last lift, I think you're right next to the platform.
Yeah, I was like, I'm standing right here. I don't care what these guys say.
I think one thing that we should cover before we run out of time is, because we got some stuff we got to get to at the end of the podcast too, is Lon is a coach at Blade too, as well. And you've been a coach for how long?
2 years, 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If your math's anything like Corey.
It's where he gets it from.
2-3 years.
Yeah, it's a 2-3 year thing.
Okay. Somewhere in the middle, somewhere between 2.5 years to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a point there where you were super unhappy at your job and were able to leave your job and come on as a coach at Blade, and now you're just a sugar daddy. Or you have a sugar mama.
Yes, I'm sure she'd appreciate that.
Does she listen to the podcast?
Hopefully my wonderful, loving wife will not listen to this podcast and hear Chris just say that.
A sugar mama. She takes care. She's the one that allows you to do what you do. That's what I was getting at in so many. That's a term of endearment.
Yeah. There's not a chance I could do what I do without her.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at a point in my career in Scottsdale where everything went south really fast, and it was getting to the point where it was affecting our marriage and my life, and basically she just told me, she's like, walk away. She's like, it's not worth it. We'll make it work no matter what we need to do, but it's not worth your happiness and our happiness. Yeah. So it was great, and it's something that I've never done in my life, is to walk away from a job and not have a job. And it was really scary. Corey called me later because he knew that I was leaving on that day, Monday or whatever day it was. And he's like, you all right? And I'm like, I think so. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I've never done this before, you know? So
I was super happy. I couldn't stand you coming in the afternoon.
It was
after
horrible.
It, and I could just tell how it affected you. So, I mean, I was in support of that as well.
Yeah. And then to be hired on by you guys it was amazing. And Blade is an amazing place. Great members, great coaches, and no place I'd rather be.
Awesome.
And I'll probably be there for the rest of my life.
Beautiful.
At least another 50 years.
That's right.
Yeah. Woo, man, I can't wait for that. How old will I be? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'll be 100. I'll be 100.
85? It was fine, dude.
By
Dude,
that,
like Mikey.
yeah, exactly.
I'll be coaching you through powerlifting at that point. We're just gonna be in there benching, squatting, and pulling.
Mikey was so funny. Mikey's an 80-year-old powerlifter that I train, and he was wanting to learn the ollie lifts. He came to the meet on Saturday, and he was like, "How old do they have qualifying?" And so I was teaching him the ollie lifts on the PVC. He actually did pretty darn good.
Because he's a state champ.
He's a multi-time state champion, uncontested. But there's no one else alive competing in his age categories in the state, at least on the levels he's done. But yeah,
he's the man. If you see him in the gym, he'll be the one working out in Under Armour top and seersucker shorts.
Yeah,
just getting down.
And he, I love so many things about Mike and training Mike, just the conversations we've had. And he's taught me a lot about business, and he's done everything that there is in business. But I told him to get lifters. It's just the old school of what people used to do that no one does anymore. Like his lifters, he's been wearing for almost 3 years. They look brand new. He puts them in the box afterwards. He cleans them.
Yeah. Does he still leave them at the gym, or does he take them with him?
No, he takes them with
Remember
him.
at first he was like, he would put them up
on the shelf.
in the office.
Yeah.
Like, Mikey, what are you doing? He's like, I keep these here.
Yeah.
These are my shoes.
Because there's no way we should get him a locker. But, that's an awesome relationship. I don't know if I could get him to come on here, but
he might.
He doesn't have the most appropriate mouth. But be like, Mike, you're in church.
Yeah,
all right,
Mike, keep it down. Mike, you can't say that here. What? What are you talking about?
All right, well, let's wrap it up with some stuff from the members.
So we have, I got an email from Jaylene about our movie quotes because she was offended that we were saying that the ladies don't really like movies or care about movies. So she gave us a test on movie quotes. She sent me 2 movie quotes that I'm going to read off, and we have not looked these up, and I'm going to be completely honest and say that I don't think that I know what these movie quotes are from, and so we're just going to put them out there and see if Chris or my dad knows them. Mm-hmm. So, ladies like movie quotes too. These are my all-time favorite quotes. Let's see if you know what they're from. The quote is, "No matter what may occur, I will find you." It has to be like
Is that the entire quote?
That's the entire quote.
No matter what may occur, I will find you.
It has to be a
I can hear it in my head.
When you said it like
is it
when you said it
Taken?
like that, no, it's not that. It's not
Okay.
Taken. That's definitely not it.
it's
When you
not
just said it
Taken.
like that, now I'm starting to think that I
know what it
Say
is.
it. Do that again.
No matter what happens, I will find you.
Oh my gosh! Now I have it in my head too.
I can tell you, I honestly don't know.
I do. It's like
Yeah.
it's a historical.
Yeah.
He's saying it in somewhat of an accent.
Yeah.
Is it?
It'd be really
It might be Last of the Mohicans. I don't.
Is it
It
Count
could-
of Monte Cristo?
No, it could be Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans?
Gosh, we should text Jalen and get.
I know.
proof
We're
of
gonna have to
that,
fact check.
But
Yeah, you just,
I will find. See, when you say it like that, now it's like starting to ring through.
okay. Well,
I'm gonna look it up after this, honestly. The next one. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to know which bridge to cross and which bridge to burn. I'm the one you burn.
okay, that's a long quote.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's from.
no
That's
idea.
too long.
It's gotta be like
That's like a paragraph.
Kill Bill or something.
Yeah.
Jaylene, if these are bad movies, then you're never gonna hear the end.
Oh
of it.
my gosh.
What is it?
Last of the Mohicans.
Is it?
I just Googled, no matter what happens, I will find you. And it's when they're in the waterfall and they got it. So I nailed that one. And I haven't seen that movie actually, I have seen it. I watched it on an airplane not too long ago. That's weird.
No wonder you knew.
What?
No wonder you knew.
Look up the other one. So look this one up. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to know which bridge to cross and which bridge to burn. I'm the one you burn.
That is long.
That's a novel, Jaylene.
Yeah, we're not going to look that up. I can't remember.
I'll look it up. Which one to cross, which one to burn.
Okay.
You
So,
guys can-
and then another thing I got a lot of feedback from some of the ladies at the gym was that they like to keep things too. Amy Van Dyken, Olympic gold medalist, was like, I keep stuff. I've got shirts from nationals and all these occasions, and I forget who else came up to me and was like, I keep stuff. I don't like to throw things away. And so I guess it is not specifically gender specific, like male, female, but it definitely is weighed heavily in the male's favor that we like to keep stuff a lot more than most females.
I would have to say yes.
Huh?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Do you have stuff?
I had.
Oh, he had so many
a lot of
softball
stuff.
shirts,
Oh my
softball
God.
T-shirts.
They
The
all got
Cadavers T-shirts,
Yeah.
not jerseys. They were T-shirts
Yeah.
because we played in the D League, so we didn't have jerseys, but we had T-shirts, and they're no longer.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're no longer in the
a-
Allen household.
I had a lot of T-shirts that. They kind of like went away. The
So
magic.
she didn't make a quilt.
No. But I do have like a box of T-shirts that I'll make a quilt out of someday. Yeah.
You'll make the quilt?
Yeah, I will actually take it and mail it away to get made.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we got one movie quote.
That one's
Mohicans.
not. It's not even a movie quote. It's like Jalen. That one wasn't good. The first one was good though.
Which Daniel Day-Lewis is top 5 for me, favorite actors. He's just the man. Lincoln, Gangs in New York. I love that man.
I love that man.
As an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that we didn't have any coffee though this morning. I do appreciate the LaCroix, but the last time I saw you guys drinking coffee, I'm like, oh, that's
Well,
cool.
I was drinking coffee because I was fasting.
Yeah, and you've probably had 7 cups today already, so I'm not going to your addiction anymore. 5 cups of coffee. It's 9:56 in the morning.
But they were small cups.
It is early in the morning.
But I've been up since like 3:30, so
I know. Yeah, that's the thing but we got to go work out.
Yeah. So we got to do some fitness now.
Get some muscle fueling and...
So he's going to have some more caffeine.
Yeah.
And then
Are you working out?
no. I have my PT appointment today.
Oh, yeah.
And my dentist appointment.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much for
Episode
having
4.
me.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, Lonmower.
Thank you.
See you later.
Out.